Real Queens Reign family, what's the word? We are back again with another episode of the Real Queens Reign podcast. I know it has been a while, but I am your host, Reign Savannah. We're here with another episode for you guys as requested. Now, I know it's been a while, but I took a much needed break. We've got a whole lot of things coming up for you guys in the works. We've got new spring launches for Real Queen Rain, new brand new products for you guys that I'm so excited about. Stay tuned for our spring drop. But today I am most excited for our guest. Our guest today, she is a trailblazer. She's an amazing entrepreneur and business owner. I'm so excited to have her. She has an amazing story to tell. Today, I want to welcome Miss Takiya La'Shaune.
Hey, Rain. Thanks for having me
Hello,
on the show.
hello. How are you?
I am good, girl. I am excited. I've been looking forward to getting on with you and just talking to your listeners. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, ma'am. I can't wait to have a conversation with you today. It's definitely going to be some empowering stuff. But first, just to give our listeners a taste of you and what you do, can you just give me a brief about your entrepreneurial journey and how you got to where you are now and a little bit about you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my entrepreneurial journey started back when I was very young, to be totally honest. So, I was really excited to talk to this genre of listeners because, a lot of times we don't realize until we're older those gifts. But I was very young. My first business, I was actually 20 years old. And that was a cleaning company, and that started out of some struggles. Really, all of my entrepreneurship journeys have started out of turning pain into purpose. Became an author, entrepreneur, mentor, columnist, TV, radio, talk show host, podcast host to present, and in the beauty industry. But that journey, everything I've done was born out of turning what I was going through, pain from my childhood, into my young adult years and turning that into purpose.
Amazing. I could see you have a lot of knowledge to drop on us today. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
right.
You've done so many amazing things, so I can just tell it's going to be a great episode. So I heard you say that you are an entrepreneur as well as in the beauty industry. So can you tell us a little bit about your company and what you do?
Yes. So my beauty industry, my foundation in the beauty industry started with the launch of my first business, which was a lash and brow bar, boutique lash and brow. I started that when, let's see, about 14 years ago. And I actually ended up getting out of a physically abusive relationship and I ended up homeless. And I took literally the last bit of income that I had and I invested in a training to learn eyelash extensions, which is so huge now. But 14 years ago, it was still fairly new. And I took that and ran with it. And from that, I launched my first business. I branded that, and then I started my product line. And then I opened and launched my beauty school. So, salons and spas and beauty schools that focus on lashes, brows, makeup, all that good stuff.
Amazing, amazing. So I want to ask, with you being through, I'm sorry, going through so many things and making it through, how would you say your struggles affected your journey?
Oh, 100% my struggles affected my journey. Like a lot of times, we 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 just go through day to day and we figure like I have to get a job and I got to work and I got to put a roof over my head, and we base those things off of what society tells us. But my struggles actually told me what my life was going to be. And my history, I come from a history of a broken home, a dysfunctional home, child abuse, molestation, mental illness, all of those things. And I basically had to make a choice when I was younger that I was either going to let those things dictate my life and tell me what I was going to be, or I was going to take those things and utilize everything that I had gone through and turn it into something for purpose as a platform to better myself. And that's exactly what I did. So everything I've gone through, pain has been turned into purpose. Purpose has become a passion, and passion is now a way that I earn a profit. And I teach people how to do that.
That's so amazing. I just want to give you a round of applause because you've been through so much and you're doing so many amazing things. But for teen girls that are going through the same thing right now that you've been through, what would you tell them right now?
I would tell them, number one, to stick with who they are. Oftentimes, when we are going through things, just like I talked about, those situations that I endured, in the midst of those things, I felt very alone. I felt very broken. I felt lost. And if I and talking to a younger generation, I do this to myself. I had to turn around and reach back and look at the younger Takiya and encourage her. And if I had anything to say to young women now, is you're not alone. Basically, beauty is internal. I know a lot of times we look at the exterior and we feel like I've gone through so much and I'm just so broken and I just don't have it all together. Everything that you are going through, no matter how bad, no matter how hurtful, no matter how painful, no matter how dark it may seem or feel, you'll come out on the other side of that if you just don't give up. I would say don't give up and keep going because it will get better.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, for young women who want to turn their pain into purpose, what was some tips that you would give a young woman who is trying to start a business in the beauty industry? I know it's a big topic right now when it's a very crowded industry right now
Yeah.
because of the social climate,
Mhm.
but what's some just really great tips that you could give someone that wants to start?
Good question. I would say the number one tip, and I use this from my personal experience, is just how we're talking about that pain. A lot of times we want to tuck that away and we want to forget it. The thing that has set me apart and helped me brand, and I would say this to any young woman up and coming, is be authentic, be true to who you are. Don't look at what everyone else is doing and try to pattern yourself after that. It's good to have influence. It's good to have compliment to what someone else may be doing and it may work for you, but stay true to your roots. Stay true to who you are. My story, as much pain as in it, using my story as my platform is what propelled me beyond the competition. It's what stands out. No one can tell my story the way that I can tell my story. No one can be my story because it's my story. It's genuine, it's authentic, and it's who I am. So I would say for anything that you're doing, be who you are. Be true to who you are. Even in this day and age, social media is amazing. It helps us to reach other people that we normally wouldn't reach. We can reach people across the world, but it can also have a negative impact to telling us, look at what everybody else is doing, and this is how I should be doing it, or this is how I should look. I would say stay authentic, stay true to who you are. Just be you. Be you, because you can't reach everyone, but you will reach someone, and the someone will be the people that see you for who you are, and those are the people you want to reach anyway.
Great stuff. You just dropping dimes today. But you do so many different things, being an author and a TV show host and a podcast. I'm sorry, and a podcast host. What would you how do you balance all of those things? Because there's so many girls who are trying to balance school and sports and extracurriculars. How do you keep balance?
So, organization is a huge key, but this is going to sound like left field because some days I don't have the organization. And what I mean by that is it is okay to step back. With wearing so many hats, it can get really hectic. It could get exhausting. It could get overwhelming. And I would just say that you have to have balance, and I balance that out by having a structured schedule and picking certain days to work on things. And I have a habit. Sometimes I'll have this free time and my brain is going, oh, I could be working on this, but I have to learn to set that boundary for myself and go, nope, today is not the day I'm podcasting. So do not lean into podcasting. Today is your day to rest. So rest. And so you have to set those boundaries and know when to balance that and really take time for yourself. And so I may step away. I travel. Sometimes traveling is just from my bed to my living room. Okay. And sometimes traveling is I might leave the country, but you have to do what works for you and stick with where you're at. But you have to have balance and boundaries. And that's what helps me.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, I do just want to take a quick moment to say while you're here, oh my gosh, while you're here, please like, comment, and subscribe to the She Is So Dope Network and follow us on all platforms at Real Queens Reign. So go, please like, share it, please. If there's anybody you feel like would be touched by this message, please share it. Get involved is so important. Now, with that being said, while we're on the topic of an entrepreneurship, what are some common misconceptions about working in the beauty industry or being a beauty entrepreneur in general, and how would you address them?
Ooh, good question. So that's one of my pet peeves, like the word entrepreneur or entrepreneurship. It has evolved so much over time, since I first got into entrepreneurship. I've been in entrepreneurship for 25 years. But first and foremost, the term being an entrepreneur actually is someone that sees a problem and finds a solution to solve it. Okay. So that's what we do in entrepreneurship. And so one of the biggest misconceptions and one of my personal pet peeves is jumping into entrepreneurship and thinking that it's easy, or thinking that I'm going to jump into entrepreneurship. I'm going to be a business owner. I'm going to be an overnight success. I'm going to make all this money. I'm going to have all this free time on my hands. No, wrong answer. It is absolutely the opposite. And that's not to deter or scare anyone away from it. Entrepreneurship means you're going to put in the work. You are going to be your hardest working employee as the owner of the company. You have to put in the work. And number one, you have a vision. Usually that's what starts it. It sparks a vision. There's something that you see, a need that needs to be reached, or something that someone's missing. That's the solution. That's solving the problem to what is lacking. And when you have that vision, you want to take it, you want to run with it, but it takes time because there are roadblocks. There are things that, when it comes down to the legalities of business or your education with business, or, you get winded, you get tired, and it's not often as easy as it looks. So one of the biggest misconceptions about entrepreneurship is this is going to be an overnight success. It's going to be easy. When you look at all of these success stories and you peel back the layers like we're doing here with Real Queens Reign, I'm sure the story is consistent that we put in the work and it took time. And I started at X age and I worked my way up, and I had to network and I had to market, and there was letdowns and there was doors closed in my face, or there were people didn't see that vision. And that's the thing too, is it's your vision. And oftentimes as you start to grow that vision, everybody can't see the vision because it was given to you and to not them. And being a leader, you have to be able to have that gift to get everybody to see the vision and get motivated. So again, you are your hardest working employee. Okay. It's not just like an overnight snap your fingers success story. Every last person.
Absolutely. And anybody around me can tell you when I first started Real Queens Run, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have 1,000 sales by the first week. Where it's gonna be amazing. But then you kind of take a step back and it's like you really have to put in the work.
Yeah.
And I did have trouble with that for the longest time because you want to be able to say you're a young boss and you want to be able to say you're a young entrepreneur and you're doing all of these things. But at the same time, it takes work, it takes dedication. And sometimes you're like, I do just want to be a teenager and I want to go out with my friends, but it's also like look at what it can do for you long term and
There you
the
go.
legacies that you can create and just all of the change that you can create when you get started. If you
Yeah.
know your purpose now, start now. Like I waited for so long and just wanting to be a teenager, and I was like, you know what, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is what God put on my heart and I've got to do it. So definitely biggest challenge is putting in that work, putting
Putting
in
in
the
that
work for
work.
sure, yeah.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
mean
Ooh,
from at
and
all
you gave
ages.
me chills when you said legacy. You hit it spot on. You said building something and leaving that legacy. That's really what you're doing. You're building a legacy, and legacy isn't built overnight. Legacy is generations. You're establishing something for yourself and for your children and your children's children and your family and generations to come. And if you want something sustainable that's going to last beyond that, it's going to take putting in the work. It is. So good for you for recognizing
Absolutely.
that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's definitely my mission with Real Queen's Reign is to give our audience someone to look up to, a
Hmm.
legacy and a model to show that it can happen. You have to put in the work though, and
Yep.
it can happen absolutely. If this is what you want to do and you want to be a business owner or you want to be a
Hmm.
doctor or a lawyer or a dancer, do you. Do
Do
what you
you?
want to do, but make
Yes.
sure that you know put in the work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Role
that's
models
life.
for sure.
Life happens all along with that also. Not to mention you're a hardest worker, but then life happens, things come in left field, family, sickness, lack of income, so you're balancing all of that at the same time and you're still going and you have to just keep building. You have to keep going. So I applaud you. I applaud you for what you're
Thank you.
doing.
I applaud you. You're a role model, absolutely.
Thank you.
For That's why it was so important to have you as a guest on today's episode with
Yeah.
us coming back after a hiatus because we needed a strong message and you absolutely are giving us that. So I want to thank you so much for being on again. It means so much. Now, I
Likewise.
want to talk about you a little bit. Do you have any upcoming projects or initiatives that you're excited about or that you want to share?
I do. I do. So I have so many things going on right now, but two things stand out. Um, First foremost is number one, God has laid it on my heart to do a vision leadership conference. Well, not conference, a vision leadership retreat. And so, what that is, I also have a nonprofit called Heal Her. So, it's the word healer, but with the H in the middle for women, her. And what I do is I host restorative women's retreats because we have to take time for ourselves, mind, body, spirit, and soul, right? And so, talking about entrepreneurship, just being women's issues or young women or anything, mental health awareness, things like that. We have to take time for ourselves. And God has really been putting it on my heart to have this retreat because doing these podcasts, I'm meeting amazing women like you. And I'm just so, you leave this indelible impression and this memorable um, place in my heart. And I want to connect all of these amazing women and bring you all together because I don't want to just hold on to everyone I'm meeting myself. And I just feel like God is pulling us together to do something so we can connect with one another because we have the missing pieces to continue to further ourselves and build and grow. So that's number one, as I have the Vision Leadership Retreat coming up in September. And then number two, I am planning a mother-daughter retreat. So this is perfect for your listeners, for young girls 12 on up through their 20s and their mothers. And I want to speak to the young women that may say, I don't have a mom or my connection or relationship with my mom is not the best. Come. Because you're going to have some mamas. I'm an auntie, some aunties in the building, but a mother daughter retreat. And we're just going to get together and we're going to just spend time and work on those relationships and work on those bonds. So I'm super excited about that.
Oh, that's so beautiful. You got me excited. I might have to come. Yes,
Yes, girl,
ma'am.
come on.
Yes. So for the Heal Her retreat, what's the age range looking on that? That's more for our college listeners.
Yeah, so the Heal Her retreats are, I mean, because we take trips, we do locally, mainland US side, but we do a lot of international travel as well. So have passport world travel. That's going to be for, the 20 and above, I would say 21 and above. And that's what inspired me to do the mother-daughter retreats because I don't want to miss that younger age. But yeah, our Heal Her retreats, restored retreats are more for, I would even say, I've had 18 and up travel. So 18 and up is a good place for that. So it's open, but it's open, and I've had friends say, can I bring my daughter with me? That's totally fine. It's all about healing. It's all about coming together. It's all about connecting. And we travel, we have a good time. We've gone to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. We've gone to the Bahamas. We're looking at London. We're looking at traveling to Israel. So all kind of stuff. But then we travel statewide as well because some people don't fly all the time and we just want to do a quick road trip. I have a road trip this weekend that I'm looking forward to. So Heal Her is for the 18 and up crowd.
All right. As you guys can see, she's doing some amazing things. So you guys go tap in with her at Your Smile is Your Weapon on all platforms. So please go tap in, see what she has going on. So just to wrap it up, I do want to ask, are there is there anything on your journey that made you feel like you wanted to give up? And what did you do to overcome it?
Oh, yes. Two words that you just hit, overcomer, because that is absolutely who I have become and I am. I am an overcomer. And this journey, the other portion of that, anything that's more than two words, but two key things. What have I wanted to give up? And are there things that have wanted to make me give up from my childhood on through today? Okay. In my childhood, I was molested by my stepfather as a young girl, having a father in the home, but not having a father figure that was a good role model left me out there to the first man that came along that showed me any kind of time or attention. I thought that was love, and that was not the case. And so I went down a path of promiscuity and making the wrong choices, and then getting into physically abusive relationships. And then once I grew and found my relationship and faith in Christ and allowed God to love on me and show me how to love myself and turn things around, even life as a mother now and an adult, I've gone through homelessness. I have gone through abuse. I have gone through depression. I have dealt with post traumatic stress disorder. I have dealt with my daughter, who is 26 years old, from the time she was about 16 on through high school, graduating high school, was diagnosed bipolar depression and battled multiple suicide attempts. I have a son who's now 20, car collision head on, and they thought he was DOA, and that was a year of therapy. So you pile all this stuff on the trauma. Even right now, I'm coming out of a divorce, and my ex-husband was incarcerated because of stalking me, felony aggravated stalking. So the point I'm making here is there were plenty of things in reference to just outside of the day to day norm that came in and said, you should give up. You should quit. You should throw in the towel. What are you doing? None of this matters. Nobody cares. Nobody, and I held on to my story for so long because, you know, life has a way of making you feel like you're the only one going through this or being ashamed of it. And now here I am sitting on podcast and telling my story and sharing my story, and it's empowering, and it gives other people permission to know that they're not alone. And every day there's something that I had to seek God to overcome, because I'm an overcomer. I'm more than a survivor. I'm a thriver. And I won't quit. I won't give up, because I know that there are others out there listening, watching, that need to hear this. And I want you to just keep going as well.
Oh, oh my God, chills! You That was a beautiful way to close it. What you do is so important, especially for my audience, but for women of all ages to
Yeah.
know that they have an outlet and have somewhere to go, and what you do is so important, and I want to thank you for everything that you do, because it truly does make a difference, and you
Thank
sharing your story absolutely makes a difference. And I'm so happy that my audience got the opportunity to be inspired by your words today. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, sweetheart. God bless you. Thank you so much
You
for
as
that.
well.
This blesses me and it encourages me and it helps me to feel that validation of, yes, keep talking, keep going. My story matters because someone else needs to hear it. So I just, again, I love what you're doing.
Thank you so much. And on that note, that is a wrap, y'all. I thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Real Queens Reign podcast. Please come back next week for some more heat. I love y'all. If you want to tune in, you guys know where to find me. All platforms, Real Queens Reign. I love y'all. Have an amazing day.